In this video, let's talk about one of the best ways that I have found to do audience testing inside my Facebook Ads Manager, and this is actually very replicatable. Is that even a word? This can definitely be replicated inside of YouTube ads, Google ads, so on and so forth. So you can use this in those other platforms, same kind of style and same purpose. But audience testing is a great way to reach new people and to figure out what audiences actually resonate with your ads more than others. So lots of great uses for it. Let me show you how I like to do audience testing. In most cases, this is what I'll do. There's an off chance or a scenario where I will do the testing a little bit different. But in more likely than not, this is what I'm doing to test new audiences. So let's get right into it. Now, first things first, I love to find something that has actually been working for me. So for example, I'll find a couple of ad sets or campaigns that have great ad stats. So for example, they have good cost per link clicks compared to my account average, good link click-through rates, good CTRs, creatives are doing their thing, copy's doing the thing, but the audiences, I would love to improve that and see if I can hit a better kind of audience. Now, in this one specifically, like we've got a freelancer audience that is actually doing really well for us and getting purchases at like $20 per purchase. So I want to try expand that and try find more audiences like that freelancer one that I think could do better. I usually like to do my audience testing in a separate campaign as well. So for example, I'll kind of name the objective and then we'll say it's audience testing. We will keep the objective, sales or lead or whatever you want are optimizing for. That objective remains the same. So don't really change anything in that regard. But the main test that we're going to be doing is obviously in audiences. And with that, I really like to simplify the ad set names and just simply put in the date that it starts and the audience that I'm targeting. So we'll figure that out in a second, but let's first try to find what audiences I want to target. So in this case, freelancer. It's an audience that's worked well for us. I want to try find more just like it. Now, usually what I'll do is I'll just hit the suggestions tab and it'll come up with a lot of other ones, right? It's like home business. I think that's a good one. Let's see what else it gives me. Freelancer, we've done that. Startup company, right? You could choose a plethora of these. In audience testing, what I've found to be most successful, and this actually worked with the freelancer audience because there's only one or two interests, I only like to have one or two interests in there, at most maybe three. And they all have to be similar. So like that freelancer one, if you saw, it only had freelancer and freelancer careers. Very similar audiences. We really wanted to make sure that we were going after the same group of people. So home business, if I did want to add another one, I think this audience is more than enough people inside of it for it to be sufficient enough by its own. But if I wanted to add something else that I was really confident about, I'd want to make sure that it is very similar to this home business kind of a thing. Then what we're going to do is let me tweak this age range, make it a little bit broader. And the important part with audience testing is that you actually want the budget to be really, really low. I'd recommend anywhere from $3 to $8 per ad set, because what you can do is then test like 10 to 15 audiences pretty cheaply, figure out which one works, and then start to scale the ones that are showing promise. The big problem that I see people having with audience tests is they're trying to find the one that generates all the sales right away. If that were the case, you would have to spend a lot more money to figure that out, and it's going to take you a lot longer. I would rather spend a little bit of money, find the most promising runs, scan through them, and then only start to scale the ones that show me promise. So for example, we did this exact same thing with these other ads that you can see, like all these different ad sets here. We tested freelancer, Fiverr, entrepreneurship, SMMA, softwares, business gurus, so on and so forth, all at very, very low budgets, anywhere from $3 to $8. And they all spent the same amount, but freelancer started to show the most promise, best CPMs, best ad stats across the board. We started to scale that one up and boom, it started to get sales for us consistently. That's the exact same thing I'm going to set up here now. Is I'm going to set up a good chunk of them. Let's just say at $4 per day. And this is home business. And I want to put the date in. So 524. And that's basically how I really love to test audiences. So let me show you me continuing to build out this campaign. But building audiences out in this case and having the mindset of, okay, I'm doing these audience tests not to get the sale right now. I'm doing it to discover which audiences hold the most promise. That is really the purpose of audience testing that I have found to work very, very well. Especially when you are getting sales from some spots, it's great to then test and see where can I find more promise in different audiences and test those. So once I have my one, I like to duplicate it. Let's do it 5 times here. Let's do it 6. And then I just go to work changing the different audiences. So home business, that's cool. What if I did something like, let's see. I do like the Fiverr one, but I'd love to see if there's some different options. If it shows me any. There we go. Fiverr, careers. Freelancer, Upwork, self-employment, freelance graphic designer. That could be pretty cool. So let's do freelance graphic designer, but let's also throw in freelance designer, creative designer, and graphic art designer. Reason why is because these audiences are pretty small and I want to make sure I reach them. So I'm actually going to throw in a couple of more ones, and this may be the case where I'm going to remove some as well. So I'm just going to keep adding some in. It doesn't mean I'm going to target all of them, but I want to find something that has a good audience size. So like, that's too small. Graphic designer has a size of 600,000. So that's a lot better. Freelancer has a good one. Design. That's a good audience. There we go. Design. So we'll just do design. That's a good size audience. And a lot of people will ask me about audience sizes as well. Like, shouldn't the audience size initially be like 1 million, no more? Once again, the purpose is to just find something that has promise. You can then refine it later down the road. And I'll show that example in a minute with the freelancer audience that's been working really well for us. So I'll kind of address that here in just a minute. Let's keep finding some more audiences. Let's do sales. I don't think I've tried that one. And literally, this is just the name of the game. You just go through, find audiences, replace them, and you're really good to go. Nothing too fancy about it. I'm going to finish this up, and I will unpause the video when I'm done. Okay, so I've got my 6 other audiences here that I'm targeting, all at $4 a day. Let's go ahead and select them all and publish. And what I love about putting the dates there is it allows me to, when I go to review my campaigns, scan the dates, see when I launched them. If it's been 2 to 3 days, I know that I can make a decision on them. If it hasn't been 2 to 3 days, then I know to kind of leave it, let it rest for a little bit, and then decide what to do, a day or maybe 2 later, depending when I look at it. So that's that. Now, last thing before I end this video, I want to talk about audience sizes. I've heard a lot of people ask, hey, should my audience size be 1 million when I'm starting? Should it be more? What should it be? So for example, this audience has been really successful for us at generating sales. You can see the size of the audience is 12 million. Now, Facebook says it's broad, but it's okay here. It's in the green overall, but it's saying it's broad, and it is a little bit broad. So what can we do to tighten this audience up? Because when I start my ads, I would rather have something that's a little bit broad, because I know if it works on a broad audience, I know it'll work on a narrowed down audience. I don't want to limit my options from the start. It just causes things to be more expensive for no reason. You think you're trying to get after like a higher quality person when that's not the case at all, because audience is important to get in front of the right person. But what you should actually be focusing on is a good offer, good copy, and a good angle that actually resonates with people that are seeing it. That's more important than the audience. So just make sure you remember that. So in this case, how can I refine this audience? I know freelancer works. How can I make it work better? How can I narrow this audience and get an even better kind of person to see the ad, and if they resonate with the copy, move forward? So what I'll do is I'll duplicate it. And the objective here is just to narrow it down just a little bit. So ideally, maybe I'm not in as much competition here. So we could do that. And let's go to define further. And let's go to the suggestions here. And I think it would be great to actually add in like online advertising. So they're a freelancer, but they also got to be interested or have some kind of interest in online advertising. That took us from 12 million to 5 million. It's pretty solid. So let's do online advertising. Let's also define it even further. Let's drop it down. And they also got to be interested in lead generation. It's a smaller audience. Let's see how that trims it down. I probably wanted it at least 1 million. So let's do content marketing. There you go, 1 million to 1.2. That's perfect. So they're a freelancer is their job title or interest in that career. They also got to be interested in marketing, but they also have to be interested in content marketing. That gives a good chunk of 1 million people that I think will be really solid to go after. Then I want to raise this to 21, drop this to 60. And let's go ahead. I want to add in 1 or 2 more. Just do advertising and marketing strategy down here. So that bumps it up to 2. I think I'm happy with that. It's a lot less where we were at. I'm happy with that. And let's see how that works. And then for this one, this is an audience test, but it's off of a proven winner. So the budget does not need to be as low as like $3 to $8. I'd recommend keeping it the same as you've been spending, or you could drop it by a little bit. So in this case, I'm actually going to leave it the same because I want to make sure we get some results pretty quickly for it. So that's that. That's a great way to test your audiences. It's a great way to really refine things. Don't worry about the audience size when you first start off, because my logic is if it works to a broad audience, it's got to work to a narrow audience as well. And I don't want to limit my budget and limit my ads performance on some of my first campaigns. You want to give Facebook the room to breathe, to stretch, to find people. And then once you know what's working, then you can refine it. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video about how to test audiences correctly. It's not, it's not totally correct either, right? Someone could have a better idea to do it. Someone could like doing it a different way. So do the audience tests in the way that suits you best. But take what I've shown and try to fit it into your strategy. That's what's really allowed me to have really big success with ads. Is I look at other people's strategies, I tweak them, I make them my own, or I come up with a new idea, and then that becomes the thing that I do. So if you want more resources all about ads, a couple things, go to the description below. You can join my free group, 100% free, nothing to sell you, and you can grab this free funnel diagnostic cheat sheet. You'll see a link below. You'll join the group. It'll look something like this, right? Nothing crazy. It's quiet right now, which is fine. But once you join, totally free, go to Classroom and then Funnel Diagnostic Cheat Sheet. You can click on that right there, click download, and it'll pull up this cheat sheet that is a really great way to analyze your ad campaigns and see what's going on and what you need to test depending on your KPIs. So it's a great thing to have, kind of handy, like pocket handbook. I love it. There's also tons of other ways that you can get involved with what we're doing and how you can get more help and how you can better improve your ad campaigns. Just check the description below. If you enjoyed this video, like and subscribe for more content. I'm trying to push a ton of stuff out for you guys weekly so you guys can get the most value from this. I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you in the next video.